WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day continues. We're tracking additional rounds of boomers in just a moment.
A life-size replica of Noah's Ark is now open in Grant County. We'll hear from visitors and protesters coming up.
An early morning home invasion is under investigation, and now Lexington police are searching for the suspect who stole the homeowner's car.
WKYT News starts now with First Alert Weather.
Good afternoon. Sam Dick and Amber Philpott reporting. We continue to keep a close eye on storms that are in Kentucky right now.
Yeah, they are moving into our area. We are under a WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day because of that threat. We begin now with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Yeah, it's a double attack from Mother Nature coming our way right now. We've got the flash flood threat across southern parts of the area, and also a severe thunderstorm watch that is out for parts of the region in yellow. May have to get that extended a few counties to the east of what is going on right now, because we are getting some warnings that are getting toward the leading edge of that watch box. Severe thunderstorm warnings for some of the areas shaded in the yellow, and a newly issued flash flood warning out ahead of this line for parts of Adair County and into Russell County. That newly issued severe thunderstorm warning until 4 o'clock Central Time, 5 o'clock Eastern, obviously. That includes parts of Adair County back toward the west. That is just to the west of downtown Columbia. But again, newly issued flash flood warning in advance of the heavy rains coming in for Russell County and into parts of Adair County. That extends into Clinton and Cumberland counties as well. You had a lot of heavy rain, some minor flooding this morning. You're getting in on another band of some very heavy rain that is rolling into the area now. So this line of thunderstorms, what's going to happen, the northern edge of that's going to begin to weaken a little bit. We have more stable air into central Kentucky. So thunderstorms, well, they like to find where the energy is, and then they're going to go toward that energy. The energy is across southern Kentucky down into Tennessee. So over the next 1 to 2 hours, this thunderstorm complex, instead of rolling its way toward the east, is going to try to find the best available energy to feed on, and it will begin to slowly dive toward the east-southeast. So I-64 and points to the north may miss out on the bulk of the heavy rains. And that thunderstorm complex on this hour-by-hour radar begins to dissipate a little bit late this evening. Then middle of the night, we're going to fire up some additional rounds of storms that will come our way from west to east. And then tomorrow, we'll likely bring a whole new round of severe weather. Guys, we got to take them one at a time. When I come back in a little bit, we'll update the potential for flooding across southern Kentucky.
Chris, thank you. After years of anticipation and construction, the Ark Encounter is now officially open in Grant County.
The park in Williamstown features a life-size replica of Noah's Ark and is expected to bring in a couple of million visitors each year. Our Mark Barber is in Grant County with reaction from supporters and critics. It's our top story at 4:30.
This Ark is a life-size replica of Noah's Ark, built following the same specifications in Genesis 6. And this Ark is massive. It is 500 feet long and 7 stories tall, and the visitors are spilling in. The religious theme park is expected to draw up to 2 million visitors in its first year. Crowds started lining up early this morning to weave their way through the Ark. The attraction is also drawing dozens of protesters who set up right off of I-75. The critics don't think the $100 million park should have received $18 million in tax breaks because they say it celebrates fiction, not fact. But others, however, disagree.
But I would encourage them to come and see for themselves, because there's 125,000 square feet of exhibits on 3 decks. And the top deck is teaching exhibits. And it does outline, it's not just faith, there is facts based on scientific evidence.
This park tells people that evolution is not true. Science isn't true. The Earth is only 6,000 years old. This is ridiculous. They're raising a bunch of scientifically illiterate children, and this is a dangerous concept.
But it's still a concept all the same that has captured the attention and even the curiosity of people all over the country and even all over the world. I spoke with one family who spent 3 days on the road to get here on opening day. In Grant County, Mark Barber, WKYT.
And the park will be open from 9 a.m. through midnight the first 40 days. Adult tickets cost $40. What kind of impact do the creators of the Ark Encounter expect? While the park can accommodate about 10,000 guests each day, they expect many more during the initial opening. Operators expect 85% of those visitors to be from outside the tri-state, Kentucky, Ohio, and Indiana. Along with the Creation Museum, about 20,000 tourism-related jobs are expected to be created during the next decade. We showed you earlier this week how a tornado caused some serious damage at the Lawrence County, Kentucky Walmart.
That round of severe weather also left its mark on some nearby neighborhoods. Andrew Colgrove talked with one family who says they held on for dear life as the winds lifted their home off its foundation.
We didn't know where we'd end up.
Jamie Bryant and his wife and 3-year-old boy were lying down for a nap Monday evening when their dog Lucy woke them up.
It was going nuts.
When Bryant looked out the window, he saw danger was on its way.
Trees in the distance were already turning and twisting.
The family got down on the floor.
And we literally just hunkered down between the doorways of the bathroom and the bedroom and just held on to each other.
Then lift off.
It just come up off the blocks.
You could feel the trailer pick up, and then it kind of twisted, and then it slammed back down.
The family inside the home while it was picked up and dropped.
It felt like an eternity, but it wasn't, but maybe, 4 or 5 seconds really of it actually moving.
What the National Weather Service confirmed as a tornado also ensured there will be no shortage of firewood this winter.
Busted trees out that were 150, 200 years old.
The sound of fireworks and trees splitting on Independence Day replaced by revving chainsaws.
That's roofing.
Broke off doors on the refrigerator that's sitting right next to our house.
The winds also picked up a trampoline from one neighbor's yard and deposited it in another.
I looked out the door there, and that trampoline was about 150 foot in the air.
I could see wind and like debris in that, but it was going in rotation.
That was the most I've ever been terrified in my life.
You want to go back to our old house?
Bryant's boy already offering input on what kind of home he wants to move into next.
What kind of house do you want now?
A brick house.
A brick house? Why do you want a brick house?
A tornado can't get it.
A tornado can't get it?
Well, Bryant says his insurance will cover the damage to his home. Luckily, his in-laws live just down the road, so they do have a place to stay for now. A family woke up to someone breaking into their home. Police say someone threw a brick through the kitchen door of the home in Lexington's Masterson Station neighborhood. The thief took a wallet and keys before getting away in the family's 2013 black Acura. They called 911 as the thief drove off. No one was injured. Many people in Boyle County have been getting notices on their water bill saying their water system violated a drinking water standard. The Danville Water District, which supplies water to several other towns, is in the process of building a new water plant. During construction, the city engineer says the level of a disinfectant byproduct got too high. The notice to customers that they received warned that the elderly, pregnant women, and people with infants should talk to a doctor.
To see something like that on the back of a bill can be startling for people.
Correct. And most folks don't really understand the dynamics of the drinking water regulation and how that's changed.
Large amounts of the disinfectant byproduct could cause cancer with long-term exposure, and the state says Danville is far from the only public water system in violation. Sam is at the live desk now with our investigative reporter Miranda Combs with more on a story that she's working on for tonight at 6. Sam?
Thank you, Amber. So it sounds like this is one of these stories that just kept unfolding as you got deeper into it.
Right, Sam. We first got this bill from the Parksville Water Department, and it has this notice on it, or warning about this haloacidic acid. Now, Parksville is served by Danville, and what we ended up finding out was that Danville is actually building a new water plant right now, so that was causing that level to spike a little bit. Well, then we find out from the state that this is a problem happening all over the state because this haloacidic acid level is a new rule for the state, and it's hard to comply with.
Because the requirement to have this disinfectant byproducts at a certain level, that's the new rule?
Right. Basically, if you get surface water, which apparently 95% of the public water systems in this state are served from surface water, like Danville gets theirs from Harrington Lake, same sort of thing, that makes it a lot harder to comply to this new rule. Kind of complicated.
So, to put this disinfectant in perspective, how dangerous is it?
There's the thing. The risk of cancer is if you took a high level of this every day for a lot of years. But still, if you were to see on the back of a bill something like if you're elderly, if you have an infant, if you're pregnant, that you need to talk to a doctor first, that's going to concern you. And so that's why we wanted to bring this to everyone's attention.
Glad you did. All right, much more to come on WKYT with Miranda at 6 o'clock. Amber?
Campers get the surprise of a lifetime when a basketball star knocks on their door. Their reactions coming up.
WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day. Here we go again. Big complex of thunderstorms racing across southern parts of the Bluegrass State, an area that was worked over last night and early this morning with some damaging winds and especially flooding rains. Flash flood watch for all the counties that are shaded in green. Yeah, I know we skipped Rockcastle County there. You might as well put yourself in that. Severe thunderstorm watch has now been expanded farther to the east into central and southeastern Kentucky. This includes Anderson County, Mercer County, into Garrett County, and toward the south and southeast. That is until 9 o'clock this evening for all the counties that are shaded in the yellow. It's been one of those years with the watches to where the counties got to get them right the first time. We look off to the west of us, and we are dealing with this big complex of thunderstorms that is racing its way on toward the east and the southeast. Numerous counties are under severe thunderstorm warnings up and down that line. Flash flood warnings are out as well. Let's get you caught up on the current warning. Severe thunderstorm warning for part of Nelson, Hardin County, that's E-Town, into Taylor County, the Campbellsville area, a little farther to the south. Separate warning that goes until 4 o'clock Central Time, 5 o'clock Eastern. Adair, Barron, Green, Hart, Metcalf, some of that out of our coverage area. Then we start to get into the Lake Cumberland area. Severe thunderstorm warning for Clinton County, over into Cumberland, Russell County, Adair County. We are included in this, and also a flash flood warning that is out for parts of Adair and Russell counties. That includes Lake Cumberland, Russell Springs, Jamestown, over toward Columbia. Worst of the weather, Lake Cumberland, is about 20-30 minutes away from us, just to the west, and it is raining to beat the proverbial band right now. 3D Defender. So we're looking in the traditional view here. Kind of hard to see a line that stretches from north to south in this view. Let's flip it around a little bit, shall we? And let's take a different perspective on that. Let's look due west toward that line that is coming at us. So here's Columbia, Adair County. Here's the Elizabethtown area, Danville. And remember, we're looking due west now from I-75, and that line is working its way toward the east, so it's coming right at us, and then we'll dive toward the southeast. Here's a little better view, the more traditional view, and a loop to show you how the storms are moving. The past 2 hours, those are zipping across western Kentucky, where we picked up a ton of flooding rain. And this line is going to work its way more toward the east and the southeast. So London, Corbin, Somerset, Monticello, Williamsburg, Whitley City, got an hour or two before things begin to go downhill very quickly. That line zips its way across southern Kentucky. Later tonight, early tomorrow morning, don't be surprised if we don't get one more cluster of some thunderstorms in here. Then as we go through the second half of tomorrow into tomorrow evening, we could blow up a pretty good line of some severe weather across the region that could take us into Friday evening. If you're looking for some good news in all this, I'm holding my hand up. I'm looking for something to get us out of this, and I'm finally finding it for the day on Saturday. Better weather, lower humidity, temperatures that will be into the 80s. But to get there, you got one more day of severe weather coming up for the day tomorrow. So we get out of that for about a day and a half. We may squeeze out mostly dry conditions on Sunday. Southern Kentucky, I think a thunderstorm crashes in. Then I get out of the way, and some thunderstorms are back in here for most of next week. I know you're tired of hearing me say that. I'm tired of saying it. Southern Kentucky, though, next 2 to 3 hours, severe weather, flash flooding is a possibility. Guys, western Kentucky, some areas have picked up nearly 10 inches of rain since midnight. Ooh. Yeah. Tremendous amount of rain there.
And we're stuck in this pattern, and it's going to continue for those folks.
Exactly right. I think a little better widespread severe weather potential coming up tomorrow.
All right. Chris, thank you.
Okay.
We are taking a step in time for a special production of Mary Poppins happening at the Lexington Opera House. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about on Broadway today.
You can experience the magic of Mary Poppins right here in Lexington.
Our Deanne Stevens is out and about at the Lexington Opera House with more on the hit for the entire family. Hi, Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. From downtown Lexington, Mary Poppins is about to take the stage here at the Lexington Opera House. Been rehearsing for a few days now, and we have Mary and Bert, ourselves, Mary Poppins, Christina and Denis with us. They're in from New York. Love that you guys are doing this show with the Lex Theater, mixing in local talent, other talent coming in from across the country. This is an exciting show, and I can't wait for folks to see what we have going on here.
It's a really beautiful show. It takes all of the best parts of the movies and the things that you want to see in Mary Poppins and really expands on them. It's great for little kids. It's great for older kids, meaning adults, and it's got lots of magic and surprises. It's really going to excite people.
What does it take to put a production like this together, Denis?
It takes a lot. It takes a really organized team. We're really lucky to have Brian Collier, the original Broadway dance captain. He's doing the show for 7 years. He knows it inside out, all the secrets. We're really lucky to have him.
And one of the favorites of Mary Poppins is Step in Time, right?
It's my favorite. It's definitely my favorite. It's the one I watched over and over again as a kid, yeah.
So what we're watching now is especially choreographed just for WKYT TV viewers that is put together here on Broadway. We're going to let you guys take a look at Step in Time. Talented. You can see all of these fine folks taking the stage at the Lexington Opera House.
Step in Time!
July 14th through the 17th, which is next weekend. We're telling you now because you need to get your tickets now, and you can do that at Ticketmaster.com. I'm Deanne Stevens, stepping in time on Broadway in downtown Lexington. Back to you guys.
And you have tickets. Are you excited?
I bought my tickets the night it was announced they were coming. That's how much I love Mary Poppins. So.
It was one of those movies that came out that the songs just stuck with you forever. And, it's a beautiful story.
Can't wait.
All right. One of the NBA's biggest stars surprised some young fans at a basketball camp over the weekend. The 2016 MVP, Golden State Warriors guard Steph Curry, made an unexpected visit to the camp.
But instead of announcing he was there, he surprised the youngsters by knocking on their dorm room doors, literally flooring one camper. Take a look.
Selling Girl Scout cookies. What's going on, my man? How you doing?
I'm sorry.
Oh, I love it. Curry also sent a few girls into a frenzy. There you can see when he came to their door. The visit was part of an overnight Warriors basketball camp in Hawaii over the holiday weekend. That is, I'm sure, the only thing they're going to remember from that basketball camp.
Yeah, that is neat. That's cool. A California family came home in quite the mess over the weekend after a family of bears ransacked their fridge. The real-life Yogi Bear break-in coming up.
Well, it seems we are stuck in quite the stormy pattern. Another day, more storms for the next day.
Yeah, in some areas, Chris, really getting pummeled with a lot of rain.
Yeah.
Serious situation.
Without question, western, southern parts of the area. Look what's going on. You're getting this next cluster of thunderstorms that is working its way toward the east and southeast, and well out ahead of this line for areas that picked up flooding rains in some cases earlier this morning. Already preemptive flash flood warnings have been issued as far east now as Wayne, Pulaski, and McCreary County. Severe thunderstorm warnings are out as well. Got a brand new one that gets into parts of the Casey County area, Adair County, down into Russell Springs and Jamestown. That goes until 4:15 Central Time, obviously 5:15 Eastern. And again, that includes the Columbia area, gets into the Lake Cumberland region and northward into Liberty. And also that flash flood warning that is out until 7:45, McCreary, Pulaski, and Wayne counties. And you're looking out your window right now and you're looking up and it's sunny in these areas. So why are we under a flash flood warning? This is what's coming in. You picked up in some cases 2 and 3 inches of rain this morning. So you may have some local high water issues to deal with as we go through the next little bit. Guys, it's busy again, and we'll continue to track it for you.
We know you will, Chris. Thank you. A real-life Yogi Bear and a couple of cubs were caught on camera after they broke into a Lake Tahoe home and snatched some berry pies.
Now, the owners say they came home to their fridge ransacked and their whole 4th of July spread either eaten or tossed around. They say the bears must have pulled off the screen and crawled through the window. The hungry bears ate the pies and left cheese sticks in the bedroom before taking off.
Our littlest girl out in front, she started screaming, "It's a bear, and it's a bear," and we thought she was kidding. Well, we turned around and looked at about 100 yards up the road. The mama bear was just coming out right in the middle of the road. The little two cubs were following her, and they were playing.
Luckily, no one was hurt, and the homeowners say next time the windows will be latched. But the bears, they knew what to eat. They went after the pies.
They went for the good stuff, for sure. They had a pretty good 4th of July, that's for sure. All right, stick with us. Here's what's coming your way now at 5 o'clock.